Hello, this is a tutorial on how to submit an appeals request. This tutorial will be broken into 3 sections. Feel free to jump back and forth between them. The sections are EmConnect submission, appeals request spreadsheet, and finally timeline and process. Let's start by making sure we are logged into EmConnect. Pressing right on here, this icon on the top left corner, a tab will appear and you will find the section that says My Organizations. Here you will choose the org and click the gear icon and then click on Finance. Now it will direct you to the Purchase Request section. Press the blue Create Request button. And now from the drop-down menu, press Create Budget Request. Select the SGA Appeal Request form. This will redirect you to the Budget Request form. This form is used to request additional Student Government Association, SGA, funds for unexpected expenditures throughout the academic year. Keep in mind that before submitting an appeal you must have allocated and/or spent all your annual budget request, ABR, funds. Additionally, you can only request once a semester. The appeals process will close once all funds have been allocated or at the end of the spring semester. In this page you will be prompted to title your request in the Request Title field. Please title it with your organization's name and appeal request following it. Below, there is a description box. Include a brief summary detailing the reasoning for the request. Following that you will be prompted to provide a grand total for the request. You will be given the opportunity to itemize requested items in the coming pages. Once you press the Next button on the bottom right, you'll be taken to the Policies and Timeline Information page. This will include information on the active Financial Advisory Board members, as well as other important information. Submitting SGA appeal request should be a last resort. Prior to doing so, organizations should do reasonable cost cutting, reprioritize the organization's budget, do independent fundraising, as well as look at co-sponsorships from departments and other student organizations. Once you press the Next button on the bottom right, you'll be taken to the Request Process page. Here you'll be prompted to answer some questions about a member's availability to come and speak about the appeal. If that is of interest, as well as provide information about them, you will also be asked to acknowledge the information that has been provided to you. By pressing the Next button on the bottom right, you will be taken to the Reason and Contact Information page. Here you will be given the opportunity to explain the benefit of your appeal to your organization and the entire Emerson undergraduate student body and the goals that you wish to accomplish with the appeal if it were to be approved. You'll be asked about your current allocation for the academic year as well as your remaining balance. Following that, you will be asked to check off the things that you have done to be able to fund the event and/or program you are requesting for. The Financial Advisory Board does reserve the right to deny any appeals they have not met the criteria listed that needs to be done prior to appealing. Below, you'll be asked to provide a brief summary about what you have been able to complete. We understand that flights and hotel prices vary, so we ask that when going through the line item budget, you add a 5% buffer in case prices increase after your appeal is reviewed and approved. Please add a note on the items you have added the buffer to. You'll be asked to create a line item budget listing your expenses. Please round up to the nearest dollar. Hit the Next button on the bottom right once again. Here you'll be given the opportunity to review over every section. When doing this, keep in mind that we cannot approve a higher number than what is requested on EmConnect, so please make sure your math adds up. After you have done so, please hit the Submit button on the bottom. Student Government Treasury will reach out via email with information about your appeal spreadsheet, supplemental package. Once you open the appeals packet, you will be welcomed by an overview page. Here there are some basic instructions listed. Nothing should be touched and/or edited in this page. This page is gathering information from the other 3 tabs. If you notice an error, please contact the Student Government Treasurer for assistance. As noted, there are 3 other tabs. We can start off by clicking the Participating Membership tab at the bottom of the page. Here you'll be prompted to write information about members benefiting from this appeal. This list might vary depending on the appeal request. If the appeal is for a trip, only include members that would be going on the trip, and if the appeal would benefit the entire active membership, please include all names, graduation dates, majors, and position they hold. After completing this page, please tap on the following tab called Expenses. Here you'll be asked to include information about your current balance on your student organization's account, as well as how the remaining funds are being planned to be spent. Don't include any expenses that have already been charged to your account and/or charges that you are appealing for. These are only charges happening in the future using your current allocation. On the Expense tab, you will notice that there is a green cell. Please include your remaining balance there. All other cells in that column will be locked. There is an equation that will let you know how much funds you have left after each projected expense is added. Once you finish adding all your anticipated expenses, please click the following tab label to break down. At the very top, there is a table called Appeals Summary. Here you can add amounts raised, using other forms of funding, including your allocation, independent fundraising, co-sponsorships, and in-kind donations. At the bottom of the appeals summary table there are 2 rows that are a darker color. These will auto-populate and are locked. Do not try to edit them. In this breakdown page will be the bulk of your appeals content. Please sort items in order of priority as labeled for each item. Please include a name, a description, and a price as well as an invoice or quote PDF as evidence. Remember to round up to the nearest dollar for travel expenses like planes and hotels. Please add the 5% buffer and note it on the name of the item. Any line item that does not have an invoice or quote will not be reviewed as it is required for this process. Once you have included all items, please send the SGA treasurer an email, letting them know that the appeals supplemental document is ready for review. The appeal request process is a multi-step process. Outlined are the steps your request must follow in order to reach a final vote. Step 1. Submit the EmConnect appeal request intent form. Step 2. Receive and complete the Google Sheets appeal request breakdown form with quotes and detailed price information. Step 3. Appeals review process. Any appeal request under $500 can be approved by the SGA treasurer and doesn't need to appear before the Financial Advisory Board. Requests between $500 and $3,000 must be reviewed and voted on by the Financial Advisory Board. Requests over $3,000 must be reviewed by the Financial Advisory Board. They will discuss and provide a recommendation for the entire student government voting body to vote on. Step 4. Notification and transfer of funds. The organization will be notified of a decision via email and EmConnect, with decisions which could include an approval of the requested amount, approval of alternate amount, or denial of request. Approved appeals will be granted with an expiration date. Once you receive this notification, funds will be deposited by the SGA treasurer into your EmConnect account. Funds will be available immediately.